Hi, welcome to a new video dedicated to the new brushless FPV racer from VIFLY or VIFLY. This is the X150 and this model comes after the two excellent Air 220 M2 and the little brother Air 130. So they change later and the structure. Now it's an X FPV chassis and all electronic ingredient and the chassis ingredient have been upgraded, of course, to some better characteristics. So let's discover this BNF model, okay, and it comes actually this one with a FierSky solution in D16 thanks to the FierSky XM Plus. Let's open this box. So basic but good packaging, where we can find the instruction manual version 1.0, where we'll be able to find the main characteristics. Of course, you have to know that there is also an RTF version coming with the radio link solution, so you have all the configuration to do to bind the transmitter with the built-in receiver, the receiver. How to install the 4-inch props, we have a tool for that, and how to read the small display already present in the last two previous models. So the main characteristic can be found on the last page, where we have to know that we have an F4 MCU and with a built-in OSD. That's great. Motors are some Sunny Sky 1406 announced to spin at 3300 kV, so 4S compatible for sure. ESC, a 4-in-1 ESC board with a normal 20 ampere running, okay, and with a peak at 30. Of course, supporting the D-Shot600 protocol. The gyros are connected via SPI data, so 8 kHz compatible. Props are some Dale, some 4-inch model, 45 to be more precise, and you can connect either in 3.8 and of course in 4S. The XT connector is the XT30. So with 550 mm power, it's announced to have a flight time of between 12 to 14. I guess it's super unrealistic in FPV racing configuration. So the camera, very important, is a CCD model. We could now nothing else, expect nothing else. So it's a Sony sensor based Super HAT 2 600 TVL, not a lot, but if it's a good the 600 is very good. The field of view is wide, 150, so for doors maybe a little bit too wide, okay, and maybe there will be a plug to connect an OSD. So the good news also, the video transmitter, it's a 40 channel and the same that the two former model, with the output power can be configured from 25 milliwatts up to 600 milliwatts. And you have the list of the 5 supported V-band, okay, each row corresponding to a V-band and associated within the 8 V-FREC. So you have to know that you will have to cycle between the 40 channel, no V-band sub-selection first. So in terms of accessories, we have just some spare 45 Dale props, 3-blade edition, basic one, only one spare, but it's okay. And to finish with accessories, we have a wrench tool to install or remove the nuts, okay, and a basic Velcro band to completely secure your battery. So let's discover the machine. And first, we don't have any battery coming with, so you will have to provide yours. I will start with the 5.8 GHz antenna in ECMA connector, very short, okay, it's a clover leaf and no sign is a right or left polarization, so you will have to open to guess what is it. I guess it's a right polarization. So I will first connect, and before, to be sure to not cook the video transmitter in case if I'm turning on the machine. So here it is, and you can see immediately that the ECME connector is first installed on the main VTX layers. This is the top one, and jailing the half of the SMA connector, you have the top carbon plate. So it means that the connector, in case of crash, will be at least partially blocked by the top carbon plate. That's great, and you will probably just break the antenna and not the full SMA connector installed on the video transmitter. But if you break your antenna and this one pop off, you will also cook your video transmitter, because it's running without any 50 ohms load, so it will cook very fast. So now let's discover the machine. Wow, super beautiful one. First glance, very impressed by the quality of the assembling of the building. Okay, let's start. We have a 4-inch, just 4-inch, and let's compare. For example, I reviewed some time ago this Ford Genius from GearBest. Okay, this one, it was a 3-inch solution. Here we have 3 beds with 1 inch more, with more or less the same time of motor. Here it was 1506, so very powerful. Here only for 1406, but with 4-inch prop. So I guess in other hand it will provide a much more thrust. Wow. So we have a tower, okay, where we have 3 layers of electronic board, okay, the main one, okay, but not fully, for example, protected in case of water leaks or if you crash into wet grass. So I strongly advise as soon as possible to spread with such kind of liquid electrical tape to protect all the AC in case of introduction of waters. So we have this main 4-in-1 ESC, very well soldered, 20 ampere BLLES, of course D-Shot 600. The soldering job is pretty good, okay, and attached to this 6 pins row connector, okay, directly soldered, we have the main F4 board, okay, this middle one. I don't see if the gyros is soft mounted. It seems not, so you know that some MCU 6-axis stabilization chip are very sensitive to the speed, okay, at 8 kHz, and you can meet a lot of drift, okay, in angle mode, or some very weird behavior. So, and definitively linked with the type of MPU used, and if it's soft mounted or not. So here it seems not, so we will see, we will check that fact in practice how it flies. The last layer is the video transmitter. We will find the same solution that we find generally at VIFLY. Okay, so where is the battery? Somewhere I will show it behind. So first, the video transmitter is linked with this rear display, where we'll show, okay, I will turn on. We will show consecutively the battery voltage and your current VIFLY. So actually I'm 16.4 volt and I'm working under the band D4, so this is a Boscam band for this nomenclature. C correspond, I don't know exactly, but we will see also that it will be possible also to check the output power. So one unique button here, okay, and this top one. And as I said, there is no sub-band division. So if you need to choose your frequency, you will have to pass all the 40 channel if you were very unlucky. And statistically, you will have to press in 19 times to reach your favorite VIFLY. If you long press more than 3 seconds, you will be able to select between P0 25 mW, P02 which is 200 mW, and P03 the 600 mW output power. So if you need a lot of power in a wide open space, that's great. The FierSky receiver is installed here, okay, on top, where you have this small bind button. And good news, they flash the firmware XM Plus with a RSSI compatibility on the last channel. So it means that on your OSD you will have your RSSI feedback. It's great. Let's have a look to the camera. We have a Foxer model, so Sony sensor based, and be vigilant here with this connector here, blocking partially the maximum amplitude deviation of if you need some more angle. If you are an aggressive acro flyer, you would probably need to push backward a little bit the XM Plus receiver and to move also like this, these wires to have the full, okay, and now you can adjust up to 45 degrees without any problem. As far as I know, I didn't see any OSD plug, okay, or how to select the PAL or NTSC configuration. It's locked into the NTSC format, okay, so no possibility to choose, for example, in PAL configuration this camera. So the motors, Sunny Sky based 1406 3300, looks pretty great. M5, I will check that. M5, yes, seems to be, oh, it's M5, yes, let's check that. Yes, M5 internal thread, so it will be compatible with most of the bolts. And the main, I would say, quality of this frame is the thickness of the arms, close to 5. Look at that, the thickness, it's just great, more than 4 millimeters, okay, and it will be almost indestructible, so very good one. Notice also that the camera is perfectly protected from a frontal crash. It's really well designed, okay, so just need to move a little bit higher the 2 zip ties welcoming the 2.4 gigahertz FieldSky antennas, and you will be free from the props. That's also very good. So my first impression is super cool. On the rear you have the micro USB plug to connect your machine to Betaflight. The version 3.2.2 is pre-installed. The OSD is pre-configured, as we will see in the configuration part, and most of things, okay, for example, the receiver with the FieldSky solution is pre-configured, so almost no job to do, except some little optimization according to your own choice. Below, we have a small carbon plate where you will be able to insert inside the battery, so some 500 600 milliamps per hour LiPo are recommended, okay, so just unwrap and you will be able to attach your favorite battery. And I will give, for example, the weight of this machine standalone, okay, so for example, in comparison with some also other, so without battery, this machine, okay, weighs approximately 132 grams, so it's super light in comparison, for example, with the Power Genius, which was much more heavy, my point of view. Yes, close to 30 grams more heavy. So we have a much more lighter, okay, if my measurement is not biased, I will install the connector like this, yes. So it sounds, no, it's more heavy, 177. So 10 gram, more or less 10 gram more heavy than the Power Genius. And with the LiPo, we have under the 240 grams, 238 grams to be more precise. So you are under the 250 grams limit for the US market, for example. That's great. Maybe you won't have it. It will exceed the 250 if you add an HD camera to record your flight session. Okay, so to install like this classic and lock after, you have the Velcro band to completely secure the battery installation, because actually it's slipping, sliding a bit inside. So the total weight, for example, okay, is about 238 as mentioned. So it's pretty cool, okay, and I'm expecting a monster of power and forest configuration. And now it's time to check the binding procedure. It's a classic FieldSky. So you will need to hold this super tiny button here while powering. It's sometimes tricky to do both simultaneously, and select, for example, if you are using this kind of universal radio, especially the Orange X radio, you have to know that for any FieldSky protocol, you have to shift a bit the fine frec. So select the FieldSky X protocol, enter, and be sure to select the frec fine to 63, 64, and then you will be able to bind. So I won't show really the bind procedure. Is ultra classic. Press this tiny button, okay, and hold it while powering. Then when it's done, just press the bind here on the radio and it will bind, and after you will have a solid light. So as I said previously, the good news, I will show already pre-bind. The good news, okay, when it's bound, you have the green light, and the good news, you have the RSSI sent on the USD. Okay, so as you can hear, there is also a battery. So that's great to lost your machine. So everything is here, all the ingredients is here to have a great machine. Now it's time to go to our beta flight. Okay, so let's connect the machine to the USB port, starting without the battery connected first. So I will connect. And as you may know, I strongly advise each time to dump all your settings, current settings. So we have first a version Omnibus F4 with built-in USD, the version 3.2.2, almost the last version, so it will be already pretty not bad. Select, copy, okay, all the settings, okay, and create a new text file. Okay, I already did that, and paste into it, save. And in any case, if you need to restore, just paste all the information, command save into this text file, paste into the CLI, and don't forget to hand with the save command, and it will reboot with the default factory setting. Okay, now let's go. It's time to reconnect. Okay, and let's check the setup. So actually, let's check the port. Be aware, it's a F4 board, and now the UART used for the serial receiver is a UART1. For the F3 was more the UART3. Okay, so be aware of that. In terms of configuration, we have a quad X. D-Shot 600 is already pre-selected. That's great. We have a motor stop. Okay, so it will spin. Okay, at low speed at 4.5% of the maximum power of the motors. In terms of configuration, we can see that the PID loop is not pushed to the maximum, and the barometer is turned on, so we can disable it. It's useless. We don't have any barometer, and we can select without any problem, for example, 8 kilos. The F4 board will accept that. We have a serial receiver based, okay, and to be more particular, it's an S-bus connection. Okay, so that's great. It's already pre-configured. In terms of features, we have only the OSD. Since we don't have any LED strip, there is no specific light to configure in beta flight. We can just save and check now what will be the new CPU usage with an F4 board. You can see it's just increased from 4% to 5%. In terms of power, you can see that we have the minimum value cell rating to 3.3, warning starting from 3.5, and the maximum is 4.3, so probably pre-configured for an early HV. You can read all the scaling factor for the reading of the voltage and amperage. In terms of PID, what we can see, almost the default version. Well, it's not exactly. The rate have been particularized, okay, and seems that they already also touch the PIDs. So we have 900 degrees for the flips and roll axis, and for the it's wow, it's 1345. It's super fast. So I will decrease and apply more linear answers. Okay, something more like this. It's okay for me, 600 degrees per second. Level strength in angle in both horizon to 50. Let's check the filter. We have the big quad. Okay, and we'll check that if the I didn't see the dynamic filtering turned on in the main configuration pages. So we have the default TPA and TPA breakpoint values, and the gain also are classic. I will save. Okay, and now it's time to check the receiver. So I will plug the battery. Okay, and turn on my radio. Okay, and as you can see on the aux2, immediately it's moving according to the RSSI. That's great, and be sure to have the aux12 selected. So if you want to display correctly the RSSI and the OSD, we have the pitch. Okay, is correctly for the channel mapping is correctly directly done for the RNGX. If you have more Taranis, probably you will need to select more of the spectrum GR channel mapping, starting with the throttle. Okay, so everything is here. Sounds to be well. Okay, that's great, great. And let's check, and be sure to have all your values centered on 1500. I need to adjust that, and you have to play with your transmitter mixture settings to center everything on the 1500. It's also very good to apply a deadband. Okay, it's always good, especially with the RNGX. You have to know that there is a small, unfortunately, some deadband, not super precise, a gimbal at middle. So I will save, and let's check the mode. So we have for the aux1, so okay, aux1 is this one. We have when it's an upper position angle, great, in middle horizon, great, and when you're down, you have the acro plus air mode. It's great. Okay, and you don't have any arming specific switch. Okay, so it's up to you if you need to switch to arm. I will probably configure, and you have to know that you have the phase safe associated with the aux2. So a specific switch, actually the aux2. So what I will do, I will probably add a switch. So for me will be the aux3. Okay, and like this, and associate the more also the phase safe to this aux3 like this, and save. Okay, so as soon as I will no, sorry, I have to decrease this one. Okay, and as soon as I will apply the phase safe, I will cut the motors. Okay, immediately, and when arming, it will release the phase safe and arm the motors. So I'm sure of that. Now it's time to go to the OSD information. As you can see, it's not really set to NTSC, but you can press the NTSC. So a lot of value are displayed. For example, this you have this 2-second timer, maybe useless to display. The flight mode also can be a little bit adjusted, okay, in terms of layout, and also spread a little bit the information about. I like to display the crosshair, and I like to display the throttle position as well. So I will more apply them like this. It's my little optimization, but out of the box it was already very well pre-configured. So I will apply the more my current capacity of the battery, 500 mAh, and it sounds to be ready to go. So really impressed because the Betaflight is already very well pre-configured. Okay, so be aware of that, and now it's time to check the performances of this machine. Welcome to the demo fly of the VIFLY X150. So we test this little monster in 4S configuration thanks to 500 mAh. Okay, the total weight is under 250 grams. Today is extremely windy. Okay, so I will test in lost condition, check that there is no drift in angle mode, and check the capacity of the punch out, and then continue in FPV. Let's go. Okay, so it's done. Let's arm the motors and let's see that. Okay, let's see, go. Wow, what a beast. Let's check a little bit the machine. Okay, maximum rate. Wow, it's powerful. It's a monster. Oh my god. So what I regret a bit is the absence of light for this condition. It's hard to keep your orientation, but it's super. Let's see. Wow, it's impressive. The throttle is about I don't know, what's happened. No damage at all after this crash. I don't know what's happened. I hope it's not the gyro become crazy. Okay, so we check now. We continue more in FPV, and let's see. Maybe the wind is so strong. The gusts are about 70 kilometers per hour minimum. So make the gyros a little bit crazy. Okay, so let's continue in F. Let's conclude about this X150 from VIFLY, and I really do like this machine. It's just amazing how beastie this machine can be. It flies superbly, as you saw. Even in super strong gusts in acro, you don't feel anything, so that's just incredible. You have a lot of amount of power. The camera works, it's just great. The transmission super great. Well, I like everything. I like the OSD information. Okay, so definitively I don't see a lot of bad point for this machine. Maybe the absence of an OSD configuration for the Foxer camera, but nothing else. And the battery strap, to be sure to be well seated if you don't want to see it ejected. So use the Velcro, or the Velcro will be out of works after 3 or 4 usage. So things about an anti-slip rubber band, it will be much better. Okay, so I really do like this machine. double thumb up for this new VIFLY. Sometimes flying in 150mm is a little bit more larger than the compact 2.5 inch or 3 inch model, but on the other hand, you can feel really efficiently the 4S power, and the configuration and the tuning are generally much more easy. So bravo VIFLY, and I hope you like this new video. If you like it, please submit, and see you next time. Bye bye.